Good morning, noon, or night. My name is Jet, and welcome to my channel, JITV, Jet in the Valley. This one's going to be about condemnation. I'm going to do that one probably quite a bit. If someone is condemning you, condemnation is not okay, and it's not of love. Rightfully judging if you've committed some type of crime is different than condemning people. People will try to condemn you for getting caught in traps that you had no part of. And not only did you have no part of them, but you didn't know they existed, and you had no warning. We trust that older people will know more than we do. So, if nobody ever warns you about the many societies, or the many traps in the society, you're going to have to learn them the hard way. You're going to have to figure it out on your own. So, there are these awful traps. They're called snares. A type of trap that you can set to catch prey are called snares. And what they do is the animal walks into the trap. The animal walks into the trap. And then the snare will flip that animal upside down. And then that's how you catch them. So there's a mass quantity of traps set in our society that we have to function in. We have to function in because we don't have a choice. Most of us. You have to make money. You have to have a place to live. You have to feed your children. You have to be part of it. You have to be in it. You don't have to be of it. Meaning you start to become the aggressor and the oppressor. So the whole system is one person oppressing another person, just like a food chain. It's like a chain of oppression. So, if you want freedom, you have to, the only way to get this freedom is to choose love. Love above everything else, and love everybody. And then you are out of the trap. You're out of all the traps if you can manage to do that, or see why that would actually be freedom. Love is freedom. Love will convict you of doing right. Say, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have done that. Maybe you should do something different next time. It'll, it teaches you a lesson. So you don't hurt yourself, and so you don't continuously fall into these snares that are actively trying to flip you upside down. If you are a souled individual, meaning you understand what love is, or have ever understood or comprehended what love was, that is your animating life force energy, is of love. It will convict you to try and keep you safe, to get you to do better, to get you back in wholeness with love. We are currently double-minded. We are not in wholeness with love. There's reasons for that, but I'm not going to discuss them until way further down the line. So, condemnation is this dark, evil, oppressive force that comes in, and you make one little mistake, or you think one dirty little thought, or you think, something minor, and it comes in and it says, that's the worst thing you could have ever done, and no one's ever going to forgive you, and no one loves you, and you should just hide in your room for the rest of eternity because of this one little tiny thing that you've done. That's what condemnation is. Okay? Instead of convicting you to do better and be like a motivating type force, it condemns you to never do anything again. Or if you struggle with that long enough, it will just keep hitting you and keep hitting you and keep hitting you. And as a self-defense mechanism, okay, we start to normalize our bad behaviors to keep ourselves safe. So the condemnation stops. So what I mean is, if you stole a little piece of candy from the grocery store, and you feel bad because we're not supposed to be stealing, but that instead of saying I'm not going to do it anymore, and there's conviction there, to go pay the 5 cents to the person and own up and say I took this, I made a mistake, and I'm sorry. Condemnation will come in and say, that's the worst thing, those people are going to find you, and they're going to come after you, and all this, that, and the other. Well, you start to not care because it becomes so oppressive. It's such an oppressive force that you don't even care anymore. So you just you don't think there's a way to change it because you don't think there's forgiveness. Okay, you don't think someone could forgive you for your mistake, which is a lie. Everything condemnation does is a lie. It's not real. It's not true. It's the opposite of love, which is the opposite of reality, which is the opposite of the most high frequency, the most high power that's here is love. The condemnation is a trap. And we think that it's like our own mind, and sometimes we think that it's trying to help us, and sometimes we just normalize it, and it tricks us into thinking that we're just bad people. So if we're bad people, we might as well do all the bad shit that we can do because we're already bad, and no one likes me, and no one will forgive me, no one will understand. So yeah, I'm just going to go and do all of those things because it wears you down. It makes you tired. What it's doing is it's separating you from love on purpose. It's intentionally separating you further and further from love because love is our power, and love is where we are the strongest. If you have love in your heart, if you understand love and you understand the power and the nature of reality and how love is the highest, and that love is forgiveness, and love is understanding, and love is power, and it brings you joy, peace, contentment, happiness. That's where love comes from. So anything that's trying to go against love is fake, really. It's false in the sense that it's not the most high nature that's here. So condemnation is not to be listened to. It's not to be normalized. You have to recognize it for what it is. There is no pill that you can take that will make condemnation go away. The only thing you can do is realize it's a liar, and you have love, and you could have all the love. Love loves you. Love would forgive you for anything you ever did if you just say sorry. I didn't know what was right. I didn't understand. I didn't get it. I didn't know what I was doing fully because I didn't understand the full what the repercussions of what my actions were. I did not understand. People want to hold you responsible for all of your actions, in which you don't even know. No one ever told you what those actions are actually going to do. People don't talk about it. So then these other people who are out there and they are experiencing condemnation, they want to put you under condemnation and try and get you to feel bad about some shit that, you know what, if they think about it, they should know that a young person is not going to understand the full repercussions of their actions. You're not going to understand it. So therefore, people make mistakes. Let them make their mistakes. Don't put them in a snare for the rest of their whole friggin' life. Get them set on a system. Get them institutionalized with one institution or another, And then they're going to stay under that shit the rest of their life and never going to come out of it. Therefore, never helping anybody else. If you're under condemnation, you can't help anybody. You can only oppress them further than what they're already experiencing. And they call it being like pessimistic, or there's lots of different labels for it, but those people are under condemnation themselves, and so all they know how to do, because they haven't gotten out of it, they haven't gotten out of the condemnation, so they don't know how. Some of them, when they're older, they have a little bit of a clue because they've learned how to get out, but they're not willing to admit that we don't always know right from wrong. I think it's a pride thing, or so they're either under pride and they don't want to admit that they were wrong. They were wrong. They don't want to admit that everything they've done in their whole life has been a facade, that they're fake. They don't want to acknowledge the nature of the reality that they've lived in. And if somebody who does love comes around, they will hate that person without cause. And they will try to ruin their lives. Because that's all they know how to do. Younger ones, they'll do it, but I think it's worse as they get older, because they now understand that the burden lies on them. When you're younger, I'm just willing to bet you don't understand the repercussions of every single action that you make. So people under the condemnation, basically, they can't help you. Only people who love and are of love and come from love, only those people are going to be able to help you, because they'll tell you how to get out from under the condemnation. It's so evil. That condemnation kills people. And it ruins lives. And it's a falsehood. It's not real. I know that sounds very strange to some people, but it's fakeness. And if you don't get out from under the condemnation, what it's trying to do, it's trying to keep you separate from love, trying to keep you separate from your potential and your purpose. Some people, they just don't get out from under it this time around. So please try and accept that we are all struggling, if you're born here, against your mind and your body, being animalistic in nature, and your animating life force energy, soul, spirit, whatever you want to call it, being love and needing love. We need to bring the two, we need to reunite and become single-eyed, single-minded, and for that to happen, you have to deal with condemnation, and you have to get rid of it, and you have to ask love to come in and show you why it's false, and why it's fake, and how it's oppressing you, and how it's oppressed you, and now you're oppressing other people because of it. When this could stop if you just love and learn what it is and accept it, and then you get your frequency. People say vibration. You get yourself lined up with love, and then you can't lose it. So I'm not saying you can't. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm saying that you get rid of the condemnation once you let love in, and it will clean you right on out. Once you really, really let love in, and you know what it's about, and you see the eternal version of yourself, you're not going to let something else come in and compromise eternity for you. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. So what happens to your animating life force energy? It's not created, it's not destroyed. It's going somewhere and it's doing something. People, it's love, and it's going to be everlasting. And it wants you to be the best that you can be, and to be healthy, and to have respect for yourself, and to understand that you are loved. So with that, that was way longer than I wanted. So much love, many thanks. Thank you.